Welcome back to Sunless Truth, where we uncover the psychology of power that most people are never taught. Let us get into it.
Someone is manipulating you right now. Not maybe. Right now. And the worst part is, you probably cannot feel it, because manipulation does not announce itself. It does not show up with a warning sign. It shows up as a favor, as concern, as someone who just gets you better than anyone else ever has. And by the time you realize what happened, you have already given them your time, your loyalty, your energy, or your peace. Machiavelli watched this happen to kings, to generals, to the most intelligent, powerful people of his era, and he spent his life figuring out exactly how it works. Today, we are going to use that knowledge to make sure it never fully works on you again. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote The Prince in 1513. He was not writing a self-help book. He was writing a survival guide. Because in his world, the people who could not read manipulation did not just lose relationships. They lost everything. Machiavelli studied human behavior the way a surgeon studies anatomy. He wanted to understand what was underneath, what people actually do versus what they claim to do. And what he found was uncomfortable. Most people are not manipulated because they are stupid. They are manipulated because they are trusting, loyal, and emotionally available. Those are not weaknesses, but without the right knowledge, they become entry points. Today we are covering 5 things Machiavelli identified that make a person impossible to manipulate. By the end of this video, you will not just recognize manipulation when it is happening. You will stop it before it starts. Here is the most uncomfortable truth Machiavelli ever wrote. The need to be liked is the single biggest vulnerability a person can have. Think about the last time someone made you feel guilty, or used your desire for their approval to get something from you. They did not force you. They did not threaten you. They simply made their approval feel conditional, and your brain did the rest. This is called approval dependency, and every skilled manipulator knows how to find it and use it. When you need someone to think well of you, they have leverage. They can withdraw warmth to punish you. They can offer validation to reward you. They can shape your behavior without ever saying what they actually want. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who governs, based on being loved, is always at the mercy of whoever controls. That love. The solution is not to become cold. It is to become internally stable. When your self-worth does not depend on their opinion, their approval loses its power over you. They cannot reward you with something you already have. They cannot punish you by taking away something you do not need. The key sign to watch for: you change your behavior, your opinion, or your boundaries based on how someone is reacting to you in the moment. Machiavelli had one rule he considered above all others when it came to protecting yourself from people who want power over you. Never let them know how much you see. When you are in a room with someone who is running a manipulation on you, the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing. Not because you are weak, because you are watching. Here's what happens when you reveal that you've figured someone out. They do not stop. They adjust. They find a smarter angle. They make you feel paranoid for noticing. But when you stay quiet, when you let them believe the manipulation is working, you gain something far more valuable than a moment of confrontation. You gain information. You gain time. And you gain the ability to move on your own terms instead of reacting to theirs. Machiavelli wrote that the wise man does not show his hand until the moment it cannot be countered. That patience is not passivity, it is strategy. The key sign to watch for: you feel the urge to immediately confront someone the moment you sense something is off. That urge is understandable, but acting on it too early gives away your greatest advantage. This one is the hardest to accept, because we are taught from the beginning that kindness is always genuine, that generosity has no agenda. That when someone goes out of their way for you, the right response is gratitude and trust. But Machiavelli observed something that changes everything. He wrote that the most effective manipulation never feels like manipulation. It feels like love. When someone does favors you did not ask for, remembers every detail about you, makes you feel uniquely understood, and shows up at exactly the right moment. Your brain does not register a threat. It registers connection. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It begins to feel obligated without realizing it. And then one day they ask for something, and the weight of everything they have done for you makes it almost impossible to say no. This is not cynicism. This is not a reason to reject every act of kindness in your life. It is a reason to pay attention to the pattern. Genuine kindness asks for nothing. It does not keep a record. It does not remind you of itself when you try to set a boundary. Strategic kindness always eventually presents a receipt. The key sign to watch for. You feel guilty saying no to someone specifically because of how much they have done for you. That guilt is the mechanism. That is exactly what it was designed to produce. Watch how someone behaves when you do not react the way they expected. That moment, that flicker of confusion or frustration on their face, tells you everything, because manipulation runs on predictable emotional responses. The manipulator does not need you to agree with them. They just need you to react. React with guilt, and they know they can use obligation. React with anger, and they know they can use React with anxiety, and they know they can use uncertainty. Every emotional reaction you show in public is data they are collecting about how to handle you next time. Machiavelli wrote that the man who cannot govern his own emotions cannot govern anything else. And the person who can see your emotions but you cannot see theirs always has the upper hand. This does not mean you stop feeling things. It means you stop performing feelings on demand. When someone says something designed to provoke you, pause, not dramatically. Just internally. Ask yourself whether your reaction right now serves you or serves them. Most of the time, the reaction they want from you is the one that hands them control. The key sign to watch for, after difficult conversations, you feel like you said too much, showed too much, or gave away exactly how much something affected you. That feeling is your signal to practice this. Machiavelli said something that very few people are willing to sit with. He said that before you can protect a fortress, you must know where its walls are thin. Every person has emotional weak points. The fear of being abandoned, the need to feel chosen, the wound of never feeling good enough, the desperation to keep peace at any cost. These are not character flaws. They are human. But a skilled manipulator does not need long to find them. They ask the right questions. Early, they listen carefully to what makes you light up and what makes you go quiet. They file it away, and then when the time is right, they press exactly there. The person who has never examined their own wounds is the easiest person in the room to control, because they do not even know what is being targeted. But the person who knows their own weak points can feel the moment someone is heading toward them. They can pause before the reaction. They can ask themselves why this particular thing is affecting them so much right now. That awareness creates a gap between the trigger and the response. And in that gap is where manipulation loses its power. Machiavelli was ruthless about self-knowledge because he understood that the people who know themselves cannot easily be turned against themselves. The key sign to watch for. There are certain topics, certain tones of voice, or certain types of withdrawal that bypass your logic completely and send you straight into an emotional spiral. Those are your weak points. Know them before someone else uses them. Now you have what Machiavelli spent a lifetime building. Not a way to distrust everyone. A way to see clearly. Stop making your self-worth dependent on other people's approval. When their opinion loses power over you, so does their manipulation. Stop revealing everything you know the moment you know it. Silence is not weakness. It is your most powerful strategic tool. Pay attention to generosity that always seems to arrive just before a request. Genuine care does not come with a hidden invoice. Control what you show in difficult moments. Your emotional reactions are information, and you decide who gets access to them. Know your own wounds before someone else finds them. Self-knowledge is not vulnerability. It is armor. Machiavelli did not write The Prince to create cold, heartless people. He wrote it so that good people would stop being destroyed by ones who are not. You are not paranoid for learning this. You are prepared. Most people will go their entire lives not knowing any of this. They will keep being confused about why certain people drain them, why they always end up apologizing, why they feel smaller after some conversations than before them. Now you have a different option. We have more coming on power, psychological awareness, and the silent rules that decide how the world treats you. You are not alone in wanting to understand this, and now you are one step closer to never being played again.